What's good, Werfa? How's it fucking hanging? Oh, I'm about to go use the restroom, but I will be back momentarily. I cannot wait to show you the progress that we've made on this game. I have a little energy drink here, so I have a feeling that the pep is going to be directly added to my step over the course of this stream. Sick but okay, how am I? I'm good. I'm good. I'm full of fluids, so I'm gonna go empty those so I can continue to refill. Okay, I'm back! I'm back! Dun dun da ba da bum 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 bum. We got Jubilife City cranking, lasting 101 pages. Woo! Oh my goodness. I can't believe this shit's dropping Friday. I mean, I can. I announced the release date. But I can't believe it's like this far along already. I mean, there's so much like large-scale testing I want to do for balance adjustments that just can't be done without releasing this. So, here we go. To catch you up on what happened last time, if you haven't been following along on Twitter or Discord or wherever, over the weekend I made the character sheet. It was a huge pain in the ass. Yep, I just started lowering the music right now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so this shit is crazy. I made a fucking character sheet. Here's the Figma. Yes, that's the name of the program I used. Haha, Figma balls. What's up, Kato? How the heck are you? I'm showing off some progress on my TTRPG. This bad boy's releasing Friday, and I've gotta say, I'm like really hyped but really nervous. I was freaking out last night. I couldn't fall asleep until 7. I was like so nervous. That's like a thing I got. Is when I'm excited, I just can't sleep. But we're doing well. We got a character sheet that I'm happy with. I might want to change these like ovals. And you know, eventually, I don't know, make a logo. An EXP, I mean the character progression system doesn't even exist yet. So we're just gonna figure all that out in the future. But the character sheet exists now. And that is how I capped off my Saturday night. And then Sunday was a day of rest, just, playing Final Fantasy. Because, yeah, there's so much stuff to Figma. Yeah, hey, if one of your campaigns wraps up, maybe Urchin's Fall could fill the void. That would be crazy. Literally anyone playing my game ever, I'm like, that sounds like insanity, actually. I refuse to believe such lunacy, heresy even. We got the 6 main stats, rolling dice, stat values, talents, and mastery. There's a lot of rewording and images that I'm gonna have to add in. Hold on, let me sip my energy drink. Is this an energy drink, actually? What the hell is this? Bossa Nova. Immunity. This is not an energy drink. This is a fucking probiotic or some shit. Well, it tastes good enough. And it tastes like orange, which wakes me up. Orange is a morning flavor, you know? Yeah, Figma's definitely one of the things ever. Especially because I know you're doing UX, which, of course, is quite a bit of UI. Combat, turns, initiative, actions, movement, attacking, interaction, landing attacks. We're going to replace that image with the new image of the guard compass. This is crazy. There it is. And we're just going to paste that in here. Bam. Put that on the right side. Bam. Okay. Hold on. Bold. Difficulty value, in parentheses, DV. When performing a roll to use a strike to make an attack against a target during combat, the difficulty value, DV, of performing a roll to use a strike to confirm whether an attack successfully lands against a target or not during combat. The difficulty value of that roll will depend on the direction that an attack is being launched from, relative to its target. The DV of any strike, any standardized language if you're hitting successfully, is equivalent to one of the 4 values located on that target's guard compass. Let's rename this from landing attacks to guard compass. Landing attacks. When performing a roll to use a strike, oh, please recover and rest well, Werfa. I hope you feel better soon. I appreciate the fuck out of you popping in here. Forming an arrow. This icon is represented by a clover-like set of 4 shapes. Maybe I should have called this the guard clover instead of the guard compass. Marked by an arrow pointing right. The guard, capitalize, the guard compass can be located on each player or monster's character sheet. Oh, wait, no. I just read that, as well as on the stat sheet for each monster. The 4 petals of this metaphorical clover. Dude, that's fucked up. That shit happens to me all the time. Always. Yeah, okay. Kato, I can actually... Let me take you through the rule set, because this shit's kind of wacky, actually. Okay. So, main thing about Urchin's Fall is there are directional attacks. So you've got the guard compass. So this is your guard from the front. This is from the back. This is from above, and this is from below. Because this is a heavy spellcasting system. So every single class, the music is still a little loud. Thank you. Let's put it down there. Oh my god, actually, how about I just move my microphone closer to my mouth? That wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't the music, it was me. That would do it. That would do it. Okay. Thank you. Right. So the guard compass covers you from the front, from the back. Yeah. Am I the drama? Am I the drama? No. The guard compass is just directional stuff, and there's up and down, which is mainly because this is a high spell casting system. That every single character, completely regardless of their class and race, will be a spellcaster and have access to magic. Spell slots are separated by element, so the spell slots you use for a fire spell are completely different than what you would use for a water spell, or an earth spell, or a light spell, or a rot spell. So this little bar you kind of shade in to show how many you have right now, and then this number on the outside you write how many your character can hold at once. And a lot of the character building comes from choosing which spells to learn and which elements to kind of spec into as you level up, that synergize nicely with your class or whatnot. Hell yeah! I can show you a bit more. There's a few tasks left before this is ready for release, so I just made the character sheet. I need to write the section on attacks of opportunity, which shouldn't be too bad. I need to replace images like that with actual images from the character sheet now that it, like, exists. I'm obsessed with it, too. I think magic's great. Oh, and then the other thing about spell slots that's, like, huge and I somehow forgot to mention is channeling. So, I'll just let the words in here speak for me, because it's going to do better than improv. All good things must come to an end, and spell casting is no exception. Luckily, all players have access to a unique combat action known as channeling. Channeling in combat requires 1 full strike and will lower the, I need to bold DV, of all 4 values on the channeler's guard compass to no higher than 5 until the beginning of their next turn. I'm going to reword it like that. Until the beginning of their next turn. In exchange for this trade-off, which we refer to as the channeling penalty, each of the caster's spell slots are restored back up to their maximum value at the start of that next turn. So basically, you just gotta spend a whole ass turn being super vulnerable and having your friends cover for you to, like, basically reload your magic. And what's more is if you're adjacent to an ally, you can pool your spell slots together to do group casting. So as long as one of you knows the spell, you can just, you know, borrow from someone else so you can maintain, like, offensive uptime. That's the big thing, is I want this game to encourage teamwork. So we have all original races and classes and whatnot, and every single element has its own kind of play style. I took a lot of inspiration from, like, Magic the Gathering and the Digimon card game. Of all things. Of all things, I know. But in that, like, Fire Magic has its own archetype of you can use Caloric Calamity to basically fucking Luffy second gear and start burning through every calorie in your body for basically unlimited high power AoE attacks at the trade-off that you collapse at the start of your next turn from exhaustion. So you can basically overclock yourself with fire. Water's all sorts of, like, terrain hazards by creating a sinkhole that slowly dominates the battlefield as the fight goes on, and you have a couple of knockback skills so you can push enemies into that. And then once your enemies are soaked, you can use Siphon to restore spell slots without having to take a channeling penalty. Maybe I should make that a half strike. We'll see. We'll see. Air Magic's a bunch of positional tools, so you can, like, fucking do teleport behind you, nothing personal, kid katana wielders. Earth Magic's, like, defense and, like, counterattack and guard stance, as well as, like, quicksand that enemies have to roll every time they even want to walk in it or their movement just gets eaten. Light Magic is, like, dedicated healing and status removal, but its thing is Mend, where you can dump multiple spell slots upon casting to increase its effects. Dark Magic is, like, a bunch of gravitational spells, so it's a lot of knocking enemies prone, or like, enemy position manipulation, as well as stuff for, like, the big greatsword wielders to mitigate the negative effects of having such a heavy weapon. Raid Magic is lightning. It's got bouncing lightning. How's your favorite court summon dodging Singulata? I did not dodge my court summons. First of all, jury duty was canceled. I did not dodge my court summons. That shit was canceled. Unless there's something very important I was never told. I'm doing good. I'm just working on my game. Oh yeah, and we've got a shit ton of lore. So this is, like, the fucking full history of, like, the past 100,000 years. Here's, like, a shit ton of locations. There's still a bit more to fill in. But I've got a bunch of cities that you can start in. There's a bunch of plot threads to, like, get some interesting shit going on here. Like, ooh, what kind of scary shit are they doing in the underground? Etc. Stuff on how the magic works, factions and organizations, temporary external resources. So there's stuff to do, but we can get this out and playable by Friday. The main thing is that anyone who wants to GM this in its early stages is just gonna have to wing it. Because there's so many foundational things that I have to do before being able to make like modules and monster manuals and shit like that. So we're getting there, and anyone who's along this early in the ride, you know, your mileage may vary, but I'm designing this for everyone, and I want this to be accessible to people who aren't familiar with the genre, because I'm not. I'm not, and I think that these things should be accessible. That this should be an easy thing to get your friends into and do together. In the case of winging it, or at least finding a group, I can say I have made an Urchin's Fall forum channel in the Discord. So that way, when the game launches, people can use that to share homebrew content. They can use it to share their characters and stories, and they can use it for like balance discussion or finding a party. There's like a bunch of tags I have set up for it. But I'm really looking forward to releasing this. I'm so hype. Friday. So, okay, back to, what was I working on? The guard compass. Here we go. The DV of any strike hitting successfully is equivalent to the value of one of the 4 values that can be located on that target's guard compass. Let's say directional values that can be located on that target's guard compass. Let's change the order of these sentences. So put that one after this. The guard compass can be located on each player's character sheet as well as on the stat sheet for each monster. This icon is represented by a clover-like set of 4 shapes marked by an angular diamond pointing right. This is basically a replacement for D&D. This is not related to D&D. This is a completely original setting, world, races. This is me. This is a 100% original thing. Because sometimes you've just got to make something so you can say, I made that. That was me. Right? This has been so fulfilling to make, genuinely. However, Hasbro fucking themselves over with some shitty extended license shit is, I guess, pretty convenient for me, huh? Like, I chose a pretty good time to release a TTRPG. No, this is not related to D&D at all. Certainly some of the things that were designed within this game have been influenced by it mechanically. But I think that's kind of hard to avoid with how, like, almost monolithic it is within the tabletop gaming space, right? Thank you. You are so right. The 4 petals of this metaphorical clover are the 4 guards that, whoa, don't have that bolded, that represent this character's defensive and evasive capabilities from 4 different directions. Which of these 4 values is used as the DV is determined by which direction each strike is directed from relative to the target. The number on the right of the guard compass maybe I should, like, fill this with numbers as an example. The number written inside the diamond on the right side of the guard compass is the front guard. A into D is, you're right, marked by the diamond. There we go. A to the... Yeah. I think I got what you meant. The number written inside the diamond on the right side of the guard compass is the front guard. This represents this character's ability to defend from strikes from the front or from the sides. This will most often be the highest of the 4 values, with most powerful creatures effortlessly defending a head-on assault. The number on the left is the back guard, and is used to represent the defense from strikes that are launched from directly behind the target or aimed at their back from a diagonal angle. All strikes, especially those referred to as directional strikes, are either treated as a frontal strike or back strike unless specified otherwise. The values on the top and bottom of the guard compass, we're bolding that, are the high guard and low guard respectively. The high guard is used to fend off high strikes sent by flying enemies, enemies of towering heights, or the effects of spells that rain down from above. The low guard is used to defend from the low strikes that come from subterranean enemies, enemies of relatively diminutive size, or the effects of spells that rise up from the earth. A GM may treat an otherwise directional strike as a high strike or low strike in certain contexts, such as a battle on a staircase, or firing a projectile upon an enemy from a higher altitude. In the case that the character is fighting in midair, upside down, or in a weightless vacuum, high guard and low guard may also be rotated relative to the target. Assuming that the defender is aware, alert, and capable of taking action, the higher of their guard values will always be used to defend from such strikes. It's always defender's advantage when it could be multiple. Interaction. Striking. These are called strikes. A lot of potential DM villainy in this. I don't know what you mean by that, but probably. Any DM could be evil in any game. Which we refer to as a full strike, a half strike, or a free strike. A free strike can be performed without consuming any. Fucking with the gravity just to throw off the players. Dark magic is literally like fucks with gravity. You've got zero gravity field, heavy feet, pulse sphere, weightless wielding, blinding haze, that one's not gravity. Vacuum grab, gravity well, crushing contact, and executioner's blade. All of those use gravity. I think a movable stance is also using gravity to make you immune to knockback. But yes. Oh yeah. Character sheet. For high resolution, da-da-da-da-da. A lot of DM villainy. Oh yeah. I mean, this game is mostly kind of designed with the intent of doing crazy boss encounters when it comes to combat. Stat check. Adventures, channelers may be what do I refer to it on the character sheet as? Talents? Talents. Talents, awesome. Each talent corresponds to the bonus granted by one of the previously listed 6 main stats, and will gain any of the stat bonuses from them, as well as an additional +2 bonus that it is applied from any masters that a character may demonstrate in that particular game. You'd love to play as an aerial-based character who aims for opponents' high guards. Yeah! That's definitely something I'm probably going to have to work towards to, like, really capture the feeling of. Because I know that right now, there's like a 0% chance that the combat is going to be seamless and flawless on the first try. I think it's going to be interesting and something that is going to improve with time as I hone in on the balance and, like, the design philosophy of what works. But, like, this shit is early development. I'm confident that it's going to be fun, but I think it's going to take a couple of iterations to achieve the intended, like, pace of combat, you know? And that'll just be number tweaks that kind of have to be made over time that I will kind of make watching other people's games. A character may demonstrate in that particular tone. A character's masteries are represented by shading in the bubble next to each of the talents on a character sheet. A character's learned masteries are represented by shading the bubble next to each of located next to each of the mastered talents on their character sheet. Masteries are selected during the process of character creation and are granted when picking a character's race, class, and background. As characters level up, let's say they may have the opportunity to gain more masteries. There we go. That's kind of what today's stream is just going to be, is going through the early game and kind of cleaning it up. Getting started. Maybe at the forward. First part 1. Okay. We'll do DM TTRPG nudes for noobs. That is such a hard sentence to pronounce. We'll do DM TTRPG noobs for playtesting. Will I DM TTRPG noobs for playtesting? I don't know. I don't know because this is being released as a portfolio piece. This is a thing that I am putting my all in and making a professional level of quality because I want to get hired. I want a fucking job already. So there's a fine chance that I could just get a job shortly after the release of this and not have the time to do that. Or end up having the time to do that. Or hell if I know. Kind of the TLDR is that life is busy, and the only thing that I can guarantee is that I will at least try running this game with people that I'm, like, friends with already or know. Maybe I'll, like, try to run more as we go on, but I definitely... I don't know. I'll have to feel it out, but it's kind of more or less... There is a reason why I made a forum for people to find other players to play with. Eyes emoji indeed, Fanugi. Honestly, I can't wait to, like, be a player. Or even just see someone else DM this. I mean, shit. In future updates, also provide a handful... In future updates, to provide a handful of example non-player characters, in parentheses, NPCs. Boop. non-player characters, NPCs for each location, helping GMs who are unfamiliar with the setting to set up compelling and grounded stories for players. What, this being a proof of proficiency? Yeah, no, that's quite literally what it is that I am a systems and mechanics designer, as well as a narrative designer. My main specialties are writing deep and detailed rules, as well as writing worlds and stories and whatnot. And this genre kind of very seamlessly allows me to combine them, which is very nice, I must say. Just hired me already. Yeah, I don't want it to be overly complicated, but, like, there's totally weird shit in here, like the guard compass and the spell slots. Right, okay, so we're just skimming through the earlier shit. Okay. Which is followed as a role-playing game of imagination and collaborative storytelling. To play, one player will take the role of the game master, in parentheses, GM, who acts as the primary storyteller. The GM, bold that. The GM's responsibility is to describe the environment and the events within it to the rest of the players. These players, who will each be playing the role of a character that they have created, will then take turns in any predetermined order describing the actions that they wish to have their characters perform. Should a player's character attempt to perform a difficult or strenuous action that may or may not succeed, they may be asked by the GM to roll dice and use the result to determine the outcome. More on the exact nature of what rolling entails can be found in the upcoming, let's say may be found. More on the details of what each role entails. Each type of dice roll entails may be found in the upcoming section on rolling dice. Once a player's roles have been resolved, the GM then describes the outcome of these events back to the players. The next player will then take their turn, and the cycle will repeat as each player takes their turns. A player's potential actions will often be determined not solely by their dice rolls, but by a variety of variables that may be found on their character sheet. Let's say located on their character sheet, such as their stats, their strikes and spells, and their talents and their traits. Your character sheet is the name for the tool that the player uses to keep track of the status of these variables for each of their characters. This can be notes on a piece of paper, some information stored in a digital document, or the character sheet template, which can be found printout, which can be previewed on the next page and located at the end, and downloaded at the end of the document. Character sheet is the name for the tool that the player will write on in order to keep track of the status of these variables for each of their characters. And then we're going to link end of the document to external resources. Boop. Let's do external resources at the end. Set the section on external resources. Located at the end of this document. It depends. This is awesome. This is so wholesome. Much information about the rules of play in World of Urchin's Fall. We're gonna bold that. GMs are encouraged to try fun and unique scenarios with this gameplay system. View all rules in this document as suggestions rather than laws. Games are meant to be fun, so do whatever works the best for you and your group. If there's a mechanic that your group simply does not have fun with, simply do not include it. Sip on some water instead. And also, while we're still this early in the development, please tell me so I can look into improving it. Character sheet located on the next page is an array of information that allows each player to keep track of their character's various statistics and resources during gameplay. Each of the features of the sheet will be explained in the following sections. For a high-resolution version of the sheet ready for printing, visit the section of External Resources, which is located at the end of this document. It doesn't exist yet. 6 main stats. When telling a story with our characters, it helps to first establish their strengths and weaknesses. To do so, we use six main stats for each character during gameplay. These values each represent a different set of strengths or weaknesses of a character. Streamlabs is basically like evil. Wait, you tipped? What the fuck? Thank you. What? Oh my god. What? Hold on. Yeah, why did that shit... I didn't know. No, the alerts didn't fucking go off because that shit didn't say shit. Let me go to, it would be under Essentials, and then I need to go here, and I need to do refresh, and bam. Oh, you didn't do the Streamlabs thing. I don't think I do Streamlabs tips anymore. I'm confused. Whatever the case... Thank you. I think. I don't know what's happening. Streamlabs is evil, I think. Streamlabs, oh yes, I do not use them. I feel like evil is dramatic, but also I don't quite recall what the situation was. Weren't they like stealing code or something? I don't know. And are used frequently throughout the game, whether it be in combat, in social interaction, or in exploration. They're as follows. Stance, power, dexterity, wit, instinct, and charm. So is Streamlabs. Evil is warranted. Rolling dice. There are many different types and shapes of dice, many of which will be used in this game. This document will refer to a die by the numbers of sides it has, such as a 4-sided die being referred to as a D4 with the trend applying to the D6, D8, D10, D12, or D20. The notable exception here is the D100, which often uses a combination of two 10-sided dice, one of which generates the value in the tens place, the other generating a number from 0 to 9 in the ones place. Although if you have a 100 die, that's cool too. If you do not possess these items, don't worry. All of these can be obtained in one fell swoop by purchasing a standard set of polyhedral dice from most of your local game stores and bookstores or in online marketplaces. If you don't have the ability or funds to obtain these, there are plenty of tools online that allow the use of random number generators as a digital equivalent to dice. When performing certain actions during gameplay, players may be asked by their GM to roll their dice at various points. More specifically, this will occur when the outcomes of the player's actions are not guaranteed. This is to simulate the very real possibility of characters making slip-ups, accidents, mistakes, and sometimes tragedies, which can help us to tell a more complex and interesting story. When making a roll of the dice to resolve an outcome, players will aim to roll equal or higher than the roll's DV difficult. We need to change the order of that. Difficulty value. DV. The outcome that a player's desired outcome. Let's see, a more positive outcome will occur when... Oh, hell yeah, have a good workout! And I appreciate the hell out of you stopping by. When rolling equal to or higher than the roll's difficulty value. The DV is a predetermined value that is set by the GM that the player I don't like that these two sentences basically repeat each other. When making a roll of the dice to resolve an outcome, whether an attempt to perform an action will succeed or not is dependent on that roll's difficulty value. The DV is a predetermined value that is set by the GM. The player must roll equal to or higher than in order to succeed on, well, whatever it is that they're trying to do. This may not always go exactly as intended and is up for GMs whether this roll is considered a success or failure. Hold on. There we go. Succeed on, well, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Will be a success or failure. Considered as a success or failure is dependent on that roll's difficulty value. Any attempt to perform an action making a roll of the dice to resolve an outcome, whether that roll is considered a success or failure is dependent on that roll's difficulty value. The DV is a predetermined value that is set by the GM that the player must roll equal to, let's do equivalent to or higher than in order to succeed on, well, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Regardless of whether this roll is considered a success or a failure, it is up to the GM to describe the nature, the details of this outcome to the players based on the result. The majority of the rolls that players will be asked to make will utilize their d20. Let's build these. So is there a part of DMs being able to be bribed? No, was the wording confusing? Let me read this out loud. When making a roll of the dice to resolve an outcome, whether that roll is considered a success or failure is dependent on that roll's difficulty value. The DV is a predetermined value that is set by the GM that the player must roll equivalent to or higher than in order to succeed on, well, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Let's just do on whatever it is that they're trying to do. Yo, Invisalign check? Whoop, I didn't mean to hit the French button. Yeah, the fart button's more like it. That shit is in. What's up, Rico? I'm also working on stuff and hope you're well. I'm going through the earlier parts of the game and trying to clean it up. When making a roll of the dice to resolve an outcome, whether that roll will be considered a success or failure is dependent on that roll's difficulty value. This DV is a predetermined value that is set by the GM that the player in question must roll equivalent to or higher than in order to succeed. I feel like DM bribing is not something I should bake into their rules. I feel like it should be implied that bribing your DM is not a good idea. Let's move these up. GMs should suspicion. No. The majority of the rules that players will be asked to make will utilize their d20 and then have them add or subtract a specific value that is based on their character's individual abilities. Then add or subtract a specific value that is stored on their character sheet. There are multiple different types of roles, each defined by which variables are used to determine an outcome. Regardless of the type of roll, a d20 rolling a natural 20 natural 20 before any modifiers are applied will be considered a critical success and automatically succeeds. Inversely, rolling a natural 1 will result in a critical failure and have the intended outcome fail, irregardless of any modifiers. These critical successes and failures, let's say, GMs should aim to describe in detail these critical successes and failures to their players, allowing successes to allowing the greatest, the highest and lowest points of a character to become memorable events. Maybe I liked the wording before, but whatever. Break that up, boom. To their players into before the roll. Once the dice have been rolled, regardless of whether the roll is considered a success or failure, the GM's responsibility is to describe the results of this outcome to the players. Hold on. Nope, that's copyright music. What do I want to listen to? Because we just sat through an hour of Jubilife City, and I'm not opposed to sitting through another hour of it. However, I do have Final Fantasy XIV brainworms, and might want to find... I might just want to do, like, Gridania music 1 hour, or some shit like that. You know? What do I want to do? What's good working music? Let's do Baba Is You soundtrack. That should be good. Hopefully that's not too loud. Let's, I'm just gonna adjust my mic. My microphone! It definitely looks loud. Let's lower it. Do I need to tilt my mic so I can speak into it better? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. So let's see. The majority of these rolls that players will be asked to make will utilize their D20 and then have them... They clip? Do they clip the mic? Maybe I shouldn't listen to this. Does it sound like shit on stream or anything, or? What to listen to then? Clip. Oh, the music is fine, but the sound effects of the game clip. I'm not playing the game. There's no sound effects. It's just the music that's clipping. If there's any clipping that you might be hearing, that could have been me adjusting the microphone. Unless it's doing it right now. In which case, yeah, it would totally be clipping. But like here, I'm grabbing the microphone. Oh, the music was? What the fuck? Okay, moving the mic is loud and pain. Oh, shit. Okay. I will, in the future, I'll mute it before moving it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm on, a headset mic. So it's not very... When I grab it, when I grab the little mic stem, I guess it sounds like shit. My apologies. No, okay. That means I can at least increase the volume of the game a little bit. Hold on. I'm gonna mute my mic and try to adjust this thing to, like, be in front of my mouth instead of below it. Alright, how's that? Oh, wow, wouldn't you know it? My voice suddenly comes across way clearer. Ain't that some shit? Volume is good as is, and increasing it will disturb the natural balance. I didn't want to, increase it. I just want to, be able to fucking hear the music while I work. Inversely, rolling a natural 1 will result in a critical failure and have the intended outcome fail irregardless of any modifiers. GM should aim to describe in detail these critical successes and failures to their players, allowing the highest and lowest biggest wins and losses of a character to become memorable events that the party may remember. Let's... I don't care for this sentence. Of the intended outcome. GM should aim to describe these critical successes failure to their players and add a flourish going overwhelmingly well or entirely awry, allowing a character's biggest wins and losses to become memorable events that the party may remember fondly. A stat check is a roll of the d20 that utilizes the outcome of the dice roll while adding the bonus value of one of the 6 main stats mentioned above. The bonus value is a positive value equivalent to each point above 5. Let's do above 5. Above 5. Or in the case that it is below 5, a negative value. Which of these parameters is utilized in a stat check will always be specified. In the case of a charm check, the player rolling would add their character's charm bonus. To the result of their d20. Let's grab a little snipping from this. Rolling dice, 6 main stats. Rolling dice. A stat check is a roll of the d20 that utilizes the outcome of the dice roll while adding the bonus value of one of the 6 main stats mentioned above. This capital B. Bonus. This bonus value is a positive value equivalent to each point above 5. A negative value. Which of the 6 main stats is utilized in a stat check? Highlight, bold, will always be specified. In the case of a charm check, the player rolling would add their character's charm bonus to the result of their d20 roll of their d20 to achieve their final sum of 1d20 plus charm bonus. The bonus for each stat when rolling may be easily recorded in the small bubble located above the block for each of the 6 main stats on the character sheet. A talent check is mostly identical to a stat check, but this time the roll is in regards to a specific behavior or technique that the character in question has honed over an extended period of time. If the character in question has a specific mastery of this talent, they will gain these are known as talents and are listed in detail in the next section. Each one corresponding to a specific value, to a specific stat, and are listed in detail in the next section. If the character in question has a specific mastery of this talent, they will gain an additional, hold that, +2 bonus. Whoop, this. Bonus! My hands were in the wrong position. This. On top of all previous modifiers. One example, in the case of rolling for persuasion, one would use 1d10 plus charm bonus plus persuasion mastery bonus. This formula is used when rolling for any possible action that is covered under the list of talents, which can be found listed in the next section on masteries and talents. For ease of reading, talent checks, when described in their roles, will generally include both the name of the talent as well as the parameter it uses. A dueling roll is used to refer to an instance where any of the previous rolls are performed by 2 opposing characters. A simple example of a dueling role would be between two characters who are locked in an arm wrestling match. In this case, they would perform a dueling power check, the winner being determined by whoever produces the larger roll after all relevant modifiers have been applied. Sometimes, players will be asked to make a reaction roll. This is a roll that is made, as the name implies, as a reaction to some incoming attack or negative effect, and to make an immediate attempt to resist it. This will often be used in order to evade spells, endure the effects of gases or drugs, or respond to sudden changes in extreme weather. Under certain conditions or status effects, the previously mentioned rolls may be performed either at an advantage or at a disadvantage. In these circumstances, the d20 is rolled twice. In the case of a roll with advantage, the higher number of the two rolls will be taken. In the case of disadvantage, the inverse will apply, and the lower of the two rolls will be taken, and then there's a formula cheat sheet. Talents and masteries. Throughout their adventures, channelers may be required to demonstrate talents that they have natural affinity for or skill that they have honed over time. These will take the form of players being asked to perform talent rolls. Each talent corresponds to the bonus each talent will use one of the bonuses, capital B, granted by one of the previously listed 6 main stats. And we'll gain as well as an additional +2 bonus. This might be a little redundant. Characters' learned masteries are represented by shading the bubble located to the left of each of the different talents on the character sheet. Masteries are selected, let's say earned. Or earned, no, let's say granted. Granted during the process of character creation and are selected when picking a character's race, class, and background. As characters level up, they may have the opportunity to gain more masteries. Capital M. The list of talents, along with their example use cases, can be found below. Oh, this is like the best song in the soundtrack. And I'm not even kidding either. Oh. The choices that players will make during the process of creating a character to play this game will grant their characters with passive effects that are known as traits. These traits are unique features that are innate to these races and classes and alter the normal rules of play. These traits generally provide a positive effect, such as wild channeling, the signature trait of the conduit class, which causes them to generate extra resources for their party in combat. While particularly rare, there are a few traits that which have negative effects, such as the mechanical whirler's ratio trait, empty vessel, which prevents healing spells from restoring past 1 health. There may be cases where the effect of a trait is contradictory. Let's bold these. In such a situation, the description of a trait will always prevail over more general rules. Oh shit, automated. Stretch time. Stretching. Big etching. description of a trait will always prevail over more general rules. Wahoo! Combat. A little bit of flavor text there. Combat encounters may occur either when players decide to launch an attack on a target, like in the example above, or in the case that players may find themselves under attack by a hostile threat, whether it be fending off. Oh my god. Hunting geese for food, or accidentally causing a good old-fashioned bar brawl. Combat encounters, hold that, are a dynamic and interactive way for channelers and the players behind them to demonstrate their mastery and teamwork on the battlefield. Each combat encounter is a turn-based brawl between two or more opposing parties, players, and /or NPCs. That, which lasts until one party surrenders, is exterminated, or is otherwise unable to participate in the battle. In the heat of combat, ordinarily small details such as someone's position, let's say, such as one's position, location, and even the direction of their gaze can be the small difference between life and death. For this reason, combat encounters take place within a two-dimensional grid. Let's say, to simulate this, combat encounters take place within a two-dimensional grid, which may be drawn either physically or digitally. Each of the grid's square tiles represents a space that is roughly equivalent to 5 feet by 5 feet. When the GM declares that a combat encounter has begun, they may choose to populate this grid with the positions of each combatant and draw or build a rough approximation of the terrain atop their grid to populate the encounter with walls and hazards. Grids such as these, which often may feature surfaces that enable the use of dry erase markers, may be purchased at a hobby or game store. Although a big piece of paper will always get the job done just fine. Each of the grid square tiles represents a space that is roughly equivalent to 5 feet by 5 feet. When the GM declares a combat encounter has begun, hold on, you know what I'm gonna do? Hourly reminder to stretch. Ugh, I haven't done this in a couple days. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna stand back, I'm gonna turn my camera up, and I'm gonna lift some weights. So we're just gonna do 1, 2. I'm sure it's not very interesting to look at, considering you can't see me just lifting weights, but it's a thing I wanted to be better and more consistent about. And I have them at my computer. And the whole get up, stretch thing is meant to be for health reasons anyways, right? So I see no harm in standing up and just doing, you know, like 2 reps once an hour or so. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now we're gonna do triceps. I've got to say, I am kind of relieved that there's a lot less entire restructuring and re-editing and rewriting than I was kind of expecting. Okay, I might have lost count of how many sides I just did with my right arm. Boop. We're just gonna say that was 8, maybe it was 10, maybe it was 12. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Alrighty. Let's get these bad boys back to work. Okay. Each of the grid square tiles represents a space that is roughly equivalent to 5 feet by 5 feet. When the GM declares that a combat encounter... You know what? While I'm up, I think I'm going to take a super quick bathroom break. You guys are more than welcome to take a bio break. I'm going to run some ads just to turn off pre-roll for anyone who might be tuning in, because it does turn that off for, I think, 33 minutes? I don't know. Twitch needs to get on their shit. Regardless, you guys will not be missing anything. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get up and stretch. You guys are more than welcome to do the same. Go get a snack. Go get comfy. It's going to be a cozy game dev day. Okay, back to work. Gaming. In the heat of combat, ordinarily small details such as one's position, location, gaze can be the small difference between life and death. To simulate this, combat encounters take place within a two-dimensional grid. Grids such as these, which often may feature surfaces that enable the use of dry erase markers. play mats marked with grids, such as these, which may often feature. Each of the grid's square tiles represents a space that is roughly equivalent. At the beginning of a combat encounter, all combatants must roll to determine their initiative, a value which is used to determine the turn order for this fight, and may be stored in the top right corner of the section on health and status on the character sheet. Stored and tracked in the top right corner of the section on health and status on the character sheet. Each character determines their initiative by making a dexterity stat check. 1d20 plus dex bonus. Let's bolt those. Once every combatant has rolled, the turn order is established, starting from the character with the highest initiative roll, descending in order until reaching the character with the lowest initiative roll. In the case of a tie, from opposing sides, the character with the highest natural, the highest dexterity stat will go first. When two or more discrete parties of combatants are engaged in a fight against each other, members of the same party can freely reorder their turns under certain circumstances. In the case that two or more allied characters are acting consecutively in the turn order, those characters may choose to rearrange their turns to act in any order. This can be used to better coordinate a punishing series of strikes against targets. On the flip side, a GM may also have the ability to do the same when determining the actions of a group of enemies, especially those who are of a higher intelligence. Each player's turn is made up of three distinct types. Let's say each character's turn is made up of three distinct types of actions that they may perform in combat, namely movement, striking, and interaction. More on the details of these three shortly. These three actions may be performed in any order and may alternate multiple times in a single turn. Additionally, some of these three actions may consume a portion of a resource that we call a strike. Strikes are the metric that we use to measure how many actions a character can take in a single turn. At the start of each character's turn, they will have one full strike. Certain actions, namely offensive skills, will consume either a half strike or the full strike. A full strike cannot be performed when only a half strike of a turn remains, and a half strike cannot be used when none remains. Some actions may require none, which we refer to as free strikes. These are swift actions a player may perform repeatedly, although they often come at a precious cost in some other form. Once all is said and done, a character's turn may either be ended at will, or once they have exhausted their resources and are incapable of taking further actions. Where is Stride? Characters may travel. Okay, stride isn't a parameter. It would appear I forgot to put that on the character sheet. That's okay. Characters may travel 4 tiles per turn unless they have a trait or effect that changes this amount. Standardized amount. Movement can occur in any direction, including diagonals, and will not consume any portion of a character's strikes that they are granted in that turn. Characters cannot use their movement to pass through other characters' walls, barricades, or obstructions in their path, including traveling diagonally. The second of the 3 main actions, striking, is a character's quintessential offensive assault. Players may select from the various different combat actions that their player has learned, which are known as strikes. Each of the different strikes a character has learned may be written down in the section of their character on strikes. These include attacks that are made with weapons, with magic, and with a variety of items and tools, all of which are learned during the process of creating a character. Each of the different strikes that a character has learned may be written down in a section of their character sheet on strikes. This section is intentionally large, giving players ample space to individually note how much of a turn is consumed in plainer terms, whether this individual strike costs a full strike, a half strike, or a free strike. A free strike, full strikes, and half strikes are described in the section shortly above. Although free strikes are a bit of a special case. A free strike can be performed without consuming any portion of a turn, although these actions will always require an amount of spell slots. Will almost always require an amount of spell slots. Another important combat resource, which is discussed in detail in the upcoming section on spells and channeling. Does magic and spellcasting? Okay. Which specific attacks a character has access to will be determined during character creation. Several are gained Let's just delete that paragraph because it's redundant. The second of the 3 main actions, striking, in the process of creating a character. Several are gained innately when selecting a character's race and class, and several more will be selected at the end of character creation when choosing which spells to learn. Well, let's have creating a character. Link to part 2, creating a character. When choosing which spells to learn. Interaction. Lastly, but certainly not least, characters, let's do last, but certainly not least, characters may choose to use a half strike to interact with the environment around them. This may be to pull on a lever, activate a trap, climb a ladder, or cut the ropes of a bridge. Stat or talent check. Guard compass and landing attacks. We already went over that section at the start of the stream. Attacks of opportunity will write momentarily. Damage, health, and incapacitation. Damage, health, and incapacitation. Normal text. There we go. A strike successfully lands on a target. A roll will be made to determine the amount of damage that is dealt to that target, reducing the current value of their health points, HP. The exact amount of rice a roll of various dice will be made to determine the amount of damage that is dealt to that target, reducing the current value of their health points, HP. The exact amount. This is a critical stat that is located, that may be located and tracked in the section on the health and status section on the character sheet. The exact amount of rice that are rolled when dealing damage. This is a critical stat that represents a character's life force and may be located in the health and status section. Vital life force. The exact amount of dice that are rolled when dealing damage are listed alongside the details. The exact type and amount of dice that are to be rolled when dealing damage are listed along the details of each individual strike and spell. This value, which can be found on the sheet, when these attacks connect, should a character's HP be reduced to 0 or lower, that character will be marked as incapacitated. While incapacitated, they will be unconscious and unable to take a turn during combat, barring them from moving or participating in the fight until healed. In the case that a downed ally continues to take damage while incapacitated, their health will tick into the negative range. Once their HP is reduced to the negative equivalent of their maximum HP, it will not be decreased any further, and they are instead marked as near death. Any incoming damage on a character marked as near death on subsequent attacks will result in the character's death. Even in the case of a player character's death, there is no way to consistently bring back the dead as they were before death without what could only be described as divine intervention. That player, in the event that no deities step in to save them, will most likely want to create a new character to play with. In the case that the party does not wish to play with a rule set that allows for character death, injury while near death may instead inflict permanent wounds that may be included in a character's notes on their character sheet. Incapacitated characters may be revived by strikes or spells with healing effects. These spells can restore a target's HP back in the direction of their maximum HP value. Once a character's health is restored above 0, they will no longer be marked as incapacitated, and the near-death status will be removed. Once a combat encounter is resolved, the party's HP remains at whatever it was at during the end of combat. Any players who were incapacitated or near death will maintain those states outside of combat until they are able to receive the necessary medical attention. Enemy characters command weapons. More on those later. And friendly NPCs also abide by the rules of incapacitation and near death that apply to players. In the case that the player's party manages to successfully incapacitate the entirety of an enemy party, it is up to them to decide whether to spare them or to finish them off and kill them, ending the encounter once and for all. Non-combatants and the pieces of the field, such as a barricade, door, or window, are entities that do not abide by these rules and will instead be destroyed at 0 HP. When applying damage, there may be cases where certain enemies will have specific vulnerabilities or resistances to the different types of damage. For example, an enemy's minion they've constructed out of wood may be particularly susceptible to cutting, burning, or rotting. To represent this in gameplay, certain characters may have what we refer to as a weakness, a resistance, or an immunity. Oh my god, wait, I never described critical hits. Oh my god, critical hits aren't a thing. Oh my god, critical hits aren't a thing. Wait, holy shit. In the case that an incoming attack is rolled as a critical success, it will successfully hit its target even if their guard value respective guard is well above the outcome of that roll. When an attack is marked as a critical success, or what may also be referred to as a critical hit, this attack will the effects of this attack will be doubled. Each set of dice will be rolled twice. Each specified die will be rolled twice rather than once, with the two damage values being added together into one massive lethal attack. When a strike successfully lands on a target, we already read that. When applying damage, in the case of a weakness, the amount of damage will be doubled after damage rolls have completed. In the case of our wooden construct mentioned above, they would take double resistance from cutting damage, fire damage, and rot damage. In the case of our resistance, we would have, which this tree construct may demonstrate towards water magic, we would have the damage dealt from this element once rolling has concluded, rounding up in the case of any fractions. In the rare case of an immunity, this target will take no damage from the specified element whatsoever, and in some cases, when dealing with powerful boss fights, some may possess a passive trait that will allow them to restore health from this element instead. Attacks of opportunity will write momentarily. Magic and spellcasting. Every character, regardless of their race or class, possesses a common resource known as spell slots. Enhanced with magic, which we know as a spell. There be regardless of their chosen class. There are 8 different kinds of spell slots. Boop. Let's go get a screenshot of those. And then we're gonna grab it. Boop. There we go. Delete that. Bam. Paste it. Oh, beautiful. Each corresponding to one of the 8 different elements of magic that players that exist in this world. I want to listen to something a little more high energy, I think. What do I want to listen to? You know what? Let's go to my playlists. Hype Jam. Not Buck Bumble. No, no, no. Give me some of this. There we go. Let's crank up the energy. This is more like it. All right, hold on. Let me try adjusting my microphone one more time so it's a little closer to my mouth so I don't have to speak super loud. Okay, this should be good. I feel like I should be able to speak pretty comfortably right here. Example of what the section of a character sheet dedicated to the section on the nature of magic. These various spells may be found in the sections on and their offensive properties may be found in the sections on the 8 elements. Boop. The exact nature from a lore standpoint. The exact nature of this magic and of Vitae, the source of this magic from a lore-focused standpoint can be found detailed in the section on the nature of magic. An example of what the section of a character sheet where one may locate their spell slots. Let me lower the music more. May be seen below. As you can see, the section for spell slots is split into 4 rows of 2 opposing elements. Traveling from top to bottom and left to right, the pairs of elements depicted in order are fire and water, air and earth, light and dark, and finally raid and rot, each of which are represented by a simple icon. The metered bar that is pointing away from the center of these 8 elements represents the amount of spell slots may be shaded in to represent the amount of spell slots that a character currently has access to. Each piece of this bar, each of 5 pieces of this bar can be shaded or erased with a pencil, as spell slots are consumed and restored, with each shaded pip representing 1 spell slot with a corresponding element. Okay, I need to take this into Clip Studio Paint real quick. 3 fire, 3 water, 2 air, 2 earth, 1 dark, 3 fire. Okay, hold on. Okay, create new from clipboard. 3 fire, 3 water, 2 air, 2 earth, and 1 dark. it was what? 3 fire, water, 2, 2, 1. Let me try like a smaller pencil. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to copy that and paste that right in here. Center that. Or shrink it. Boop. Yeah, I want it nice and centered like the other one, you know? Hey. Is it? Oh, hold on. No, I just fucked it up. There we go. Here we go. This maximum value. All good things must come to an end, and spellcasting is no exception. Luckily, all players have access to a unique combat action known as channeling. Channeling in combat requires 1 full strike and will lower the DB for all 4 values of the channeler's guard compass. No higher than 5. Okay. Channeling in combat requires the expenditure of 1 full strike. And upon performance, will lower the DB of all 4 values of the channeler's guard compass. No higher than 5. In the guard values, did I specify that it's written inside guard compass? That can be located, that are written inside of that target's guard compass, as well as on the statue for each monster. This icon is represented by a clover-like set of 4 shapes marked by the diamond on the right side. Okay. Magic and spellcasting. There are 8 different kinds. There are 8 different spell slots, each corresponding to one of the 8 different elements of magic that exist in this world. The exact nature of this magic, and of vitae, the source of this magic. Of magic. An example of the section of a character sheet where one may locate their spell slots may be seen below. As you can see, the section... Okay. No higher than 5 until the beginning of their next turn. In exchange for this trade-off, which we refer to as the channeling penalty, which the caster's spell slots are restored to this maximum value, may... All good things must come to an end, and spellcasting is no exception. Luckily, all players have access to a unique combat action known as channeling. Channeling in combat requires the expenditure of 1 full strike, and upon performance, each of the caster's spell slots will be restored back to their maximum value. 8 different types of spell slots. This maximum value, the maximum amount of spell slots of each type that a character may hold at once can be found. Maximum number of spell slots of each type that a character may hold at once can be found as the numbers that are written on the outer side of each of the 8 elements. And represent how many spell slots this character will possess. How many spell slots will be filled upon the completion of channeling. Should specify upon the successful completion of channeling. An example shown above the channeler, regardless of how many spell slots still remain unspent, would restore their spell slots to the maximum values of 3 fire, 3 water, 2 air, 2 earth. This one's really hard to highlight for some reason. 2 earth and 1 dark. Upon the successful completion of channeling. It is worth mentioning that the example mentioned above has far more spell slots than a new channeler would have access to. When creating a new channeler, we'll select one of the 8 elements that their character may have a natural affinity for. One of the 8 elements to start with a maximum of 3 spell slots of. All other elements will start with a value of 0, which need not be written down. However, channelers will gradually gain access to more spells and spell slots as their adventures unfold. And I did say every character. A powerful type of strike, capital S, strike, which we know as a spell. Okay. If one or more allies are on a tile adjacent to the caster of a spell at the moment it is cast, they can choose to participate in group casting. This allows the caster to use the spell slots from their allies' resource pools to use in their own spells, provided that each member is a willing participant in this exchange. It is up to the group to determine who will spend how many spell slots before the moment of casting. Channeling can be performed at any time outside of combat to restore spell slots that may have been consumed in combat or in exploration. It is worth noting that channeling is a dramatic, flashy, and sometimes terrifying process to witness a channeler perform. Channeling without warning, especially around strangers or in a crowd, is not unlike drawing a weapon in public and may be perceived as an open act of aggression. Outside of combat, it is often the safest choice to channel in privacy or near allies. Spell properties. When viewing the lists of spells located below, located in
Very good.
very good sections. What's up, B? Located in the later sections on the 8 elements. And the roster of spells and their roster of strikes. For the raw data that can be found in external resources, there are several properties of these spells. Nothing much, just working on the game. We got the character sheet done. Boop. So I'm just kind of like slowly going through the document and updating a bunch of old information. Spell name. The name of a spell. The effects of a spell. This section determines which rolls should be made, how much damage may be dealt, and what positive or negative effects are applied to the targets of the spell. Players will learn a variety of spells throughout their adventures and will likely wish to record their known spells alongside their weapon skills. This may be done in the section on the character sheet dedicated to strikes, which provides ample space to note any additional details or properties of these strikes. Players will learn a variety of spells, bold, throughout their adventures and will likely wish to record, say, track and record their list of known spells alongside the strikes that they may perform with their weapons or bodies. This may be done in the section on the capital C, capital S character sheet, bold, dedicated to strikes, which provides ample space to note any additional details or properties of these strikes. Shapes and targeting will write momentarily. Status effects. Okay! That's a lot! This is a lot of progress. Okay. So, that concludes the fucking cleanup, eh? Equipment and inventory. Okay. How to create a character. We're finally writing the character building section. This is crazy. This is head exploding. Explosive brain moments. I'm kind of flipping out. I'm hype. I'm hype as hell. Overview and example. In order to start playing, one must first create a character. Yeah! Head exploding. Lasers out the eyes. Popping. Brains splattered against the walls or something. Maybe not pancakes. I feel like detonating a pancake would be messy. They seem so battery. In order to start playing, one must first create a character. So we shall do just that. Creating a character is a brief process that may take approximately, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes. Probably not. Let's just say 30 minutes. Before one can start playing Urchin's Fall, one must first create a character. So we shall do just that. Creating a character is a brief process that may take approximately 30 minutes. That takes approximately 30 minutes. And should be done in advance before a group's first play session. What's up, Relo? That shit is in.
Bruh. Bruh. Sloppy.
Sloppy. It should be done in advance before a group's first play session. To build a character, it is important. I'm doing pretty good. I am just kind of wrapping up the last loose ends of this game and getting everything all nice and ready for release on Friday. So we've got to write the section on how to actually make a character. There's a couple of other small sections that, like, realistically I could have finished tomorrow, and then I'll just spend the last day or so getting a party together so we can stream this. Hoi! What's up, Theo? How's it fucking going? I hope you're doing fantastic today. I don't know why I said it like that. Vibing? Let's fucking go. I'm just working on my TTRPG. This shit is crazy. We're at 102 pages now. Probably because that stolen picture wants to, like, be giant and massive. Or not. My Dark Souls boss name? I don't think I'm a Giga Chad. I think I'm just a normal-ass fucking dude. I don't know. I feel like anyone who unironically tries to embrace that title is a little goofy. A little goofy. Okay. Before one can start playing Urchin's Fall, one must create a character, so we shall do just that. Creating a character is a brief process that may take approximately 30 minutes, give or take, and should be. Normal dudes can be Dark Soul bosses. That's true. Like, Vort. To build a character, it is important. Me when it's important or some shit. Hey, I don't know. To build a character, it is important to first... What is it important to first do? How do I say this? To build a character, several steps may be performed loosely in any order. What, have a Dark Souls boss name? I don't know. Listen, my mind is dedicated towards making the thingy. Dark Souls is a completely different game. If names impact this game, I mean, it's a name. You can just do it. Hold on, I have several DMs that I need to catch up on, including a video of the Demi-Fiend punching Teddy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think I like that. Zam! It's Rocco Farend. What's up, Drift? Drift, I'm writing this section on how to build a character. Like, almost everything else is done. This is crazy. This shit might be done on Wednesday if I keep it up. And then I'll be able to actually enjoy the fucking week and play Final Fantasy with the fucking patch dropping tomorrow. I'm not gonna get to sign in before fucking server maintenance tonight, I don't think. Ugh! Whatever. I'll just, like, work through tonight and maybe just, like, enjoy tomorrow. But, like, yeah, this is genuinely the home stretch here. 4 hours till maintenance? Yeah, there's not, like, a fucking chance. Okay, hold on. Because I think we might have a special guest. We might have a special guest momentarily. Does my world have grog? Yeah, it's alcohol. Of course it does. My world has people who trip on shrooms. Like, of course we have grog. Mushrooms never went away. That shit grows in nature. Grog, that shit's just alcohol. You can make that. I feel like you can't have civilization without inebriation. Like, what is that one phrase that's like, you know what? Actually, I don't remember at all how it goes. Do I have Grog, the stealthy carpenter orc? We don't have orcs, but if you like homebrew an orc, totally. Carpenters, yeah. Crafting is a skill and stealth is a skill. You can totally be a carpenter. To build a character, several steps may be performed loosely in any order. Several steps may be performed to assemble their various the various components that make up a playable character. Several steps should be performed in order to assemble the various components that make up a playable character. First, a player should take a singular D4 and roll it 7 times using the 6 highest rolls as the starting values for each of their 6 main stats. These 6 numbers may be arranged in any order. Should be performed in a loose order. Several steps should be performed in order to assemble the various components that make up the playable character. Yeah, you know this song. I'll give you a hint, Drift. Nope. It's not much of a hint if I give it away. I didn't have shuffle on. That sure is it. First, a player should take a singular D4 and roll it 7 times using the 6 highest rolls, using the values from the 6 highest rolls as the starting values for each of their characters' 6 main stats. These 6 numbers may be arranged in any order. just say roll it 6 times using the values from these 6 rolls as the starting values for each of their characters' 6 main stats. These 6 numbers may be arranged in any order to the player's liking. After that, each player will want to select one race and one trait for their characters. Not character.s, characters. Not trait. And one class for their characters. Upon selection, players may add the bonuses, the various bonuses that come with these choices. This will often come with innate traits, strikes, stat bonuses, masteries. Yeah, masteries. Or stat bonuses. Yeah, because what do we have? Proficiency as well. Johnny, hello. Hello, special guest. What's up?
Hello. Hi.
How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. How are you? I see that you're hard at work making the tabletop.
I sure fucking am. Let me get you a big
Hell
old
to the
shout out.
yeah. I love that. I'm all about that.
Ooh. There we go. Let me lower my music a little bit. Yeah, you messaged me earlier asking if we could do a work session together. And here we are doing a work session together.
Yes, we're work sessioning now. Oh my god, work sessioning. Oh my god.
Yeah, so what are you going to be working on?
I'm organizing some drawings for next week, and then I also got to plan out a redeem I got coming up soon, a new one.
Oh. Dude, you're always at work on something, I swear.
Yeah.
You're...
My brother, Jack, is going to be joining the stream very soon.
This one starts panicking. No, that would be crazy. Yours, I presume, yeah.
My brother, Jack. Wait, are you also a brother named Jack?
No, that would be crazy, though.
That'd be crazy.
I was just doing a funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're very funny.
You're very funny.
No, you.
We can just both be funny, I guess.
No. There can only be one funny person in all the world.
Is
We
that
have to
how
fight
it
each other like
works?
the Highlander until only one remains. That is how it works. That is the law.
Probably shouldn't say may there. That implies a choice to not.
Oh, wait. Give me 1 sec. Be right back. Gotta find my drawing glove.
Yeah, I have my little compression gloves on for typing. Players are to add the various bonuses that come with these choices. This will often come with innate traits, strikes, masteries, or stat bonuses that should be marked in the various sections on their character sheet. The next step after selecting a race and a class is to select ones. Maybe I should, oh yeah, overview an example. So we shall do just that. Creating a character is a brief process that may take approximately 30 minutes, give or take, and should be done in advance before a group's first play session. To build a character, several steps should be performed in order to assemble the various components that make up a playable character. Okay. I'm gonna go make a character. Here we go. Dice Simulator. Let's roll.
We're
6.
making a character.
Yeah. We're gonna do 64. Boop. Okay.
Boop.
Damn.
What?
My rolls are definitely iffy.
What character are you gonna make?
I'm gonna make a Zegan because I'm a little shit.
Dude,
you know
are
me.
a perfect Zegan, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you.
What do you think you would end up playing?
I am partial to the bug people because I am a Hollow Knight player.
Oh. Yeah.
You know?
I want to play them all. I want to play them all.
Like the Ninhill, I want to play them. They're cute. They're cute. I'm gonna be like a little. I'm deciding what bug species I'm gonna be. Like I want to be something obscure, like maybe a tiger beetle or something.
Yeah. Cranial Activity is asking, who is gonna run this game? Several people, I hope. I will be running one. I'm sure plenty of my friends will be running some. I've set up a forum channel on my Discord for all discussion involving this game, so people can, like, set up looking for a group, or they can share homebrew content, or share characters, or all of that goodness. But this is, like, 102 pages and is, like, a portfolio piece that I'm releasing with the intent to just get it in as many hands as possible, because god damn it, I really would like to get hired for game design. That is what I studied, and damn it, I'm gonna make games. If nobody's hiring me to make a game, I'm gonna make a game myself and show them why they should hire me. So who is gonna be running this game? Hopefully lots of people, because Lord knows there's no way I'll be able to run every single campaign, no matter how much I would want to. You're gonna play the bug people and make a character from the story you're listening to? Not very original, but hey, you don't think anyone's done the character? Honestly, it's like fun to try to recreate characters from media in like a tabletop game though.
And also, this is a brand new game, so literally no one has done any of the characters you can think of.
Literally no one has done it.
You will be the first.
Yeah. No, like dead ass. That's kind of sick.
I know, it's such an opportunity.
R.I.P. Drifts Firefox.
All right, I'm gonna be working in the background, but just chime up if you need me for nothing.
Yeah, no worries, dude. I just work better around people. I'm such a fucking horrible extrovert. It's awful.
Same, I know, like my desperate need for other people's approval.
Oh my lord, dude. Literally anytime I finish a task, I send it to like 8 people because I can't go on.
I do too.
I can't go on with my
good?
life until I like have validation.
Well, I don't know, like after a big like art piece or project, I'll spend mostly the entire next day just, you know, sending it everywhere I can and then awaiting validation.
That's
like,
me. You
say
did that.
I'm good at
You did
things.
that to me yesterday, but instead of like, oh, I achieved a project. It was Rocco. I got my nipples pierced, and like,
yes, I was also seeking validation for that. I was telling everybody I know, like,
You
hey,
were.
nipples are pierced now. I want
it was so funny because I
validate
just woke up. I checked my phone. I'm like, oh, it's a DM from Johnny, and he's like, I got my nipples pierced, and in my head, I'm just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that info? Like, good for you. I'm glad. Yeah,
good for you,
Congrats.
Johnny.
That is what I said.
Self-actualizing.
That is what I said. It is self-actualizing and validating and whatnot. Because like I've had a nose ring and that shit is fucking validating and feels very
It's true.
gender.
I know. You had a nose ring? Oh, that's cool. I love nose rings.
I had a little septum one. It's like a clip-on though.
What?
Because I haven't had any real piercings, and I like don't trust myself enough to actually take care of like a piercing hole.
I can understand that. Like this is the most complex piercing I've ever had to take care of, and it's gonna take like 6 months to heal.
Oh
but
my god!
I'm confident I can take care of it.
That's so...
Yeah, they take a while to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, it'll be fine. They're already like they no longer barely hurt anymore, like after just a single day. So I'd say it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can put my shirts on without being like wincing, like.
Yeah.
I would also definitely get a nose ring, but like I have sinuses.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, my sinuses are fucked, but like sometimes it's like worth it for gender validation, you know?
True.
Yeah. In fact, I will be creating along with you.
Oh yeah.
So you may use me as an example. Creating a character is a brief process that may take approximately 30 minutes, give or take, and should be done in advance before a group's first play session. To build a character, several steps should be performed in order to assemble the various components that make up a playable character. First, a player should take a singular d4 and roll it 6 times, using the values from these 6 rolls as the starting value for each of their characters' 6 main stats. These 6 numbers may be arranged in any order to the player's liking. I have just performed this roll and gained a result of 1, 4, 1, 4, 3, 3. I will be writing these numbers down since they will be added to momentarily. Since they will have bonuses added to them momentarily. After that, each player will want to select one race and one class for their characters. Upon selection, players are to add the various bonuses that come with these choices. This will often come with, let's say, these choices will come with innate traits, strikes, masteries, or stat bonuses that should be marked in the various sections on their character sheet. You know what? I'm gonna make a Stobin.
Stobin?
Yeah, I will be creating a Stobin. What class do I want to play? I will be creating a Stobin. Let's do a Star Chaser.
Ooh.
Yeah, that way I can do like rush down horn goring. Name. What's a good Stobin name? Let's call him Bucks.
Bucks. His name is Bucks.
Bucks.
And he likes to tuck in at night with milk and cookies.
Yeah. Let's call him Bucks Nebulous.
Nebulous. I like it.
I will be creating a Stobin Star Chaser named Bucks Nebulous. Or let's do Lux Nebulous. I will be creating a Stobin Star Chaser named Lux Nebulous. And one class for their characters. Upon selection, characters are to add the various bonuses that come with these choices. These choices will come with innate traits, strikes, masteries, or stat bonuses that should be marked in the various relevant sections on their character sheet. Each race and class comes with supplemental information about the culture and world of their origins and may be used to help players flesh out the personality of their characters. I will be creating a Stobin Star Chaser named Lux Nebulous. And I will also, in another tab, be opening up Urchin's Fall. Oh, hold on. Urchin's Fall. There we go. And I'm going to navigate way down to the bottom. Stobin and applying the bonuses. Result of I know that for Star Chasers, power is an important stat. So I will be rearranging. Power is an important stat, so I will be arranging my 6 numbers rolled earlier to allow my more important stats to allow the stats that are more key to my class to be arranged in a way that benefits me.
Now, Star Chasers are the ones that are their job is to, when the Urchin Moon shoots out the bad aliens to the planet, they're the ones whose job is to like hunt them down and slay them before they cause too much trouble.
Yes. Yeah, they're
Okay.
pretty much first responders.
Okay, and they're mainly a melee DPS class, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're all about like that rush, fast, charge things. Okay. Of the classes you made, what do you say is your favorite?
I feel like that's a very different question from which one would I want to play, you know?
That is true. As the game maker, that is true.
I think I would
All right, then
want
let me ask both.
I think
Which
I would
you
want
wanna
to try
play?
playing Conduit. I think Conduit would be a lot of fun to kind of be this,
Okay.
like, group channeling battery. A lot of the support ones I think seem really fun.
Okay.
I think Ringmaster's also going to be a very interesting one to play as. Vanguard would be a lot of fun. Those are the ones that I'm kind of gravitating towards. I'll definitely need to do plenty of balance passes, because there's no way the shit's, like, even, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Jet. You're welcome to join us if you want. I'm just working.
Hey, Jet. Oh, my God, is it Jet?
Certified
Jet,
Jet
come here.
moment? I hope
God,
you're
a
doing
Jet
well today.
moment
You got work?
on stream?
No!
No, Jet, no. Jet, you were my one true love. And you
Sobbing,
betrayed me.
shitting, crying.
Yep, shitting, crying, angrily on stream.
Shitting, crying. Okay. I will be creating a Stove and Star Chaser named Lux Nebulous. I know that for Star Chasers, power is an important stat, so I will be arranging my 6 numbers rolled earlier to allow the stats that are more key to my class in a way that benefits me. Here we go. I will be creating a Stove and Star Chaser named Lux Nebulous. First, I will apply the bonuses granted from selecting a Stoven. Adding 2 to my wit, charm, power.
And where's your character going to be from?
And power. Oh, I don't know. This is just like an example character.
Okay. Oh, you don't like create your history in the character sheet or anything?
No, there's a whole section for notes
Okay.
right there in the notes. I'm just gonna write that in a second. I don't know. I'm making up Lux Nebulous immediately because I didn't want to use one of my existing OCs as an example character.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I will be creating I quite literally was like, here, I'll be creating a character with you.
Oh,
I will be creating a Sylvan Star Chaser named Lux Nebulous. First, I will apply the bonuses granted from selecting a Stoven, adding 2 to my Wit, Charm, and Power, which I have... adding 2 to my Wit, Charm, and Power. As well as gaining... Oh, hold up. Accidentally broke a thing. As well as gaining a proficiency in natural weapons. Adding 2 to my Wit, Charm, and Power, and filling out the proficiencies, traits, and skills. Oh, that should say strikes.
8 strikes and you're out.
Strikes.
Strike.
Strike, you're out. Free strike, because strikes must be used actively. I'll fix all that later. Okay. Filling out the proficiency, traits, and skills, strikes that come with that race. I will be doing the same for the bonuses granted by my class selection. This grants me where I picked Star Chasing. This grants me an additional +3 power and +1 stance. Having, as well as yet another batch of proficiencies, masteries, traits, and strikes. So at this point, let's like rearrange my shit. So I'm gonna say stance is my most important, then power, and then I'll have dexterity V1 because I'm clumsy and shitty. I'll have charm be also a 1. I have no charm.
So wait, now it's 1 through 10, right? And you start at 1 and everything? Ooh.
No, you roll 1d4 to determine what you start with, and then you add shit to that.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, my character's 9 power, which is insane.
What? Okay, wow, they're level 1, they're already 9. Damn.
Yeah, most leveling is just going to give you another spell or maybe like a bonus to a stat point.
Okay.
Okay. Which
So the general ability level kind of stays the same from like when you create your character?
Yeah, pretty much the main thing that you'll get from character progression is more spell slots, which basically means higher offensive uptime and more longer periods of burst damage.
Okay.
And then my wit is 5. My charm is... Okay, so my character is mostly negative modifiers.
I mean, how many of those skills are they going to need to use? It's not necessarily
These
a
are the
bad
6
thing.
main stats.
I know, but like, you know, like,
Yeah.
you don't want the character to be able to do everything. It makes sense that some of their skills be negative, like...
Let's make it a singular D6 and roll it 8 times using the values. No, and just roll it like 6 times. Use it 7 times using the values from the lowest 6 rolls. Now I feel inauthentic for rolling a d4, but whatever the case. Yeah, let's do a bunch of d6s instead. Ooh, stop it. These 6 numbers may be arranged in any order to the player's liking. We'll just have it be a d4 for now. I'm sure I'll have to change it later, but like, whatever.
Okay.
And to roll it 8 times using the values from the highest 6 rolls. Let's do that so characters are less doo-doo. I've just performed this roll for myself and got perhaps a little unlucky with a result of values of 4, 1.
Ugh.
You
I mean,
alright?
in D&D... Oh, no, sorry, I was just readjusting myself. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, in D&D and stuff, like, one thing I've noticed is they're a little overly generous with, like, the rolls and stuff, where it feels like, you know, every character has to at least be passable at something. Like,
Yeah.
usually when you play D&D with standard roll, there's only one skill you're not good at. You know, usually intelligence. I don't know. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, that the game pushes you to specialize rather than to, you know, be an all-rounder. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, after adding all of these values together, my character has a combined stat total of 5 stance, 9 power, 1 dexterity, 5 wit, 3 instinct, and 3 charm. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed, 9 power.
9 powers does sound like a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So they're gonna really hurt when they hit you.
Since my character has several skills that may be considered lacking, these several of their 6 main stats that may be considered lacking these stats will be far less expensive to increase in future updates once character progression is added proper. That is one thing I'm gonna have, is going from like 9 to 10 is super expensive, and it's just like point buy with EXP.
Okay.
After adding all of these values together, Lux Nebulous has a combined stat total of 5 stance, 9 power, 1 dexterity, 5 wit, 3 instinct, and 3 charm. Oh my. Since my character has several of their 6 main stats that may be considered lacking, these stats will be considered far less expensive to increase in future updates once a proper character progression system is added in full. In the case that a player's rolls, I'm gonna lower this music, are far worse or potentially far better than their party members, the GM may give them clearance to fudge their numbers and give themselves a bonus, or ask them to remove a stat point or two to match the party's level of strength. There we go. May be considered below par. These stats will be far less expensive to increase in future updates once a proper character progression system is added in full. In the case that a player's rolls are far worse or potentially far better than their party members, the GM may give them clearance to fudge their numbers and give them a bonus, or ask them to remove a stat point or two to match the party's average level of strength.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just putting it in there in the rules, so like that's a thing that you can do as a fallback.
Yeah, I gotcha.
The next step after selecting a race and a class is to select one's element from the 8 elements,
This is true.
which they will gain a maximum of 3 spell slots of. We're gonna link these sections. The 8 elements. We're gonna link the races. One class. There we go. After adding all of these values together, Lux Nebulous has a combined stat total of 5 stance, 9 power, 1 dexterity, 5 wit, 3 instinct, and 3 charm. Oh dear. Since my character has several of their 6 main stats that may be considered below par, these stats will be far less expensive to increase in future updates once the proper character progression system is able to be implemented. In the case that a player's rolls are far worse or potentially far better than their party members, the GM may give them clearance to fudge their numbers and give themselves an additional bonus or ask them to remove a stat point or two to better match the party's average level of strength. The next step after selecting or raising class is to select one's element from the 8 elements, which they will gain a maximum of 3 spell slots of. This character may then select any of the following, any of the spells of their chosen element. Any 6 spells from their chosen element to start with. I think air magic has good power, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Air or raid, I feel like would go good with a star chaser. Because I noticed raid, I think, had a lot of buffs. At least I think it did. Yes.
It did. Let's see, what spells do I want to choose? I'm going to choose Voices Carry, Wind Cutter. Let's do Flash Step, Trade Winds.
Flash Step, Naruto.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just goofing. But, like, it would be kind of cool if I could make, like... Because, no, wait, you're not playing the Ziegler,
I'm not, but Zegan Star Chaser with air is, like, maximum mobility.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was about to say, because, like, you know, they can... All these stuff give you, like, movement stuff, and they can already jump through the air.
Okay, hear me out.
Pretty overpowered.
Make it an air dark build and give them a fucking great sword now.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
That's what I'm going to be doing with this character, is I'm going to slowly move them towards dark.
Ooh, okay, that sounds kind of neat. So for character progression with getting new elements, how does that work exactly?
I'm thinking it's going to be a point buy system, where EXP is a thing that you spend to upgrade your character during long rests when in a city. And that would generally involve finding a teacher or going on a little expedition, you know, in between, like, big adventures. And in doing so, you could spend to increase your spell slots of a particular element, or to increase a stat, or perhaps to upgrade your gear a little bit. The exact details of it are going to have to wait. But my general idea is that the more you upgrade a thing, the more expensive it will be to keep updating and upgrading.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Reading a character overview and example. This character may then select any 6 spells from their chosen element to start with. I have chosen the air element for its many positional tools, which I felt would benefit my character. The 6 spells that I have chosen to learn are Voices Carry, and World. And mobility tools, which I felt benefit my character.
Okay.
Next, I will be selecting a weapon for my character.
Great sword, great sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weapons. Next, I will be selecting a weapon for my character. It is worth noting that the function of a weapon is always more important than the form of it. Let's see, what kind of weapon do I want to use? Well, let's start with what can Star Chasers use. Blades of light, medium, or heavyweight, light or heavy clubs, flails, polearms, knuckled weapons, or war wires. I'm gonna choose maybe like a power-based weapon. Medium blades. I could give my guy a scythe. They're sprinting.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Scythe. Yeah.
Scythe is a good weapon for wind, yeah.
Yeah. Overview and example. Order. After that, each player will want to select one race and one combat class for their character. Oh, rest in peace, my music? Video pause, continue watching? Yes, please.
I hate when that fucking happens.
I know. Oh dear. Seems my stat spread is a little lopsided. Since my character is furloughed, there's 6 main stats that may be considered below par. These stats will be far less expensive to increase in future updates once the proper character progression system is able to be implemented. In the case that a player's rolls are far worse or potentially far better than their party member, the GM may wish to give them clearance to burp.
Mouth fart.
Yeah.
I kind of want to build like my first character when I play. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bug person. I know that, but I think I'm going to be a post knight.
Oh.
I'm going to be a post knight. I'm going to have my own little pet Amazon drone that follows me around.
Oh,
like, you know, with
shit.
little packages holding.
That's awesome.
And I'm just going to be obsessed with the mail. Like, you know, rain nor sleet nor sign, we get our mail on time. Pulls
Oh my
out gun,
God.
no matter what.
We get our mail on time.
I'm actually looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Like, just goes, like, he's just the nicest guy unless you, like, try to mess with the mail. Then he's just like, no prisoners. Like, there's a group of bandits blocking the road and like, hey, you're gonna have to pay something if you want to cross this road. You were blocking mail delivery. You have slowed my route by 10.3 seconds. 11 seconds. 12 seconds. Please disperse immediately. You have 5 seconds to comply.
Yeah.
Now listen here, buddy. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
Open
postmark
fire.
with the red, like, line, with the dot, like, azered at your face like sniper rifle. You
Yes.
have 3 seconds to clear out of the road. 2, 1. Combat encounter has begun.
I'm gonna counter begun.
Roll for initiative, motherfucker.
Activating insta-kill mode.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's gonna be what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna have a blast with it.
Next, I will be selecting which category of weapon I would like to have Lux wield. For my character, I wish to use a bladed weapon medium, as it takes advantage of Lux's massive power, stat. And also I get to contextualize it as a scythe, which looks awesome.
Hell yeah.
Upon character creation, you may select 2 different weapons for your character to start with. I will forego this entirely, as my character will be wielding their scythe with both hands. The next step after selecting a weapon is to select one's element from the 8 elements, which your character will gain a maximum of 3 spell slots of. This character may then select any 6 spells from that chosen element to start with. I have chosen the air element for its many positional and mobility tools, which I felt would benefit my character. The 6 spells that I have chosen to learn are Voices, Carry, Wind Cutter, Flash Step, Trade Winds, Fleetfoot, and Whirlwind. All of which I will write the details of in the section of in the strikes section of my character sheet. Without just bangers only today.
I know. Bangers.
It
Banger.
may be worth noting the damage type and value of the chosen weapons and writing them down in the strikes section of the character sheet.
All right, Rocco, I have got to get off now.
You gotta go
do
have
some
dinner.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
but it's good vibing with you. We'll continue a work session later if you want.
Yeah, I'll probably be working on this later, especially since the FF14 servers are gonna be down tonight, sobbing, crying.
Shit, I forgot about that.
I know, dude.
Fuck.
I know. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm pretty gutted about it, but
why?
it means there's nothing better to do than work.
Yeah. But all right, I'll see you later, Rocco. Love you. Bye.
Love you. I'm gonna give him another shout out. It's Johnny Jellyjaw. Go give him a follow. He's a good guy. The next step after selecting a weapon is to select one's element from 8 elements, which your character will gain a maximum of 3 spell slots. This character may then select any 6 spells from that chosen element. From that chosen element's list of spells. Learn any 6 spells from that chosen element's list of spells. I've chosen the air element for its many positional and mobility tools, which I felt would benefit my character. The 6 spells that I have chosen to learn are Voices, Carry, Wind Cutter, Flash Step, Trade Winds, Fleetfoot, and Whirlwind, all of which I will write in the details of the strike section of my character sheet. You should make your choice freely and you should make your choice of element freely and have fun using that to express the uniqueness of your character and allow for your party to make up for their shortcomings and to highlight their strengths. The final and perhaps most important step is to determine my character's personality and background. background.
Hey, old Breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you doing that thing over there, homie.
Where I fill in the final details of my character, such as their known languages, as well as any details on their personality or origins sorry, I can't fucking think with this on. This is too much. Thank you. I'm not lawful! Such as their known languages, as well as any details on their personality or origins, which I may choose to write in the section on notes. In my character sheet on notes. It may, if one wishes to immerse themselves in the world of Urchin's Fall, it may be worth reading over in the rich and complex detailed world of Urchin's Fall. It may be worth skimming over some of the sections in Part 3, the world of Urchin's Fall. Boop. To help me iron out any details. For the case of Lux, I will give them a personality and origin that matches their background and makes note of their stat spread. A powerful and fearsome warrior with middling intelligence and less than average charisma. Lux found difficulties fitting into the prestigious world of Venetian academia. Having traveled south in search of fulfilling work, they have made a temporary home in the Lathos Karos region, where their sheer physical strength is appreciated and rewarded. Working as a weather ward who hunts stray ravagers and chasses, where their sheer physical strength is appreciated and rewarded by stout-hearted allies. Origin, their background, and plays makes reference to their stats. Right? A powerful and fearsome warrior, where you have to stand up and stretch. Middling intelligence, less than average charisma, Alex has found difficulties fitting into this world of Venetian academia, having traveled south in search of fulfilling work. They've made a temporary home in the Lafos Cars region, working as a weather ward to hunt stray ravagers and chasses. Their sheer physical strength is appreciated and rewarded by stout-hearted allies. They spend their spare time at the regional library in hopes of gaining a deeper understanding of the sciences, although the library's many digital entertainment stations tickle their fancy far more. And with that, my character is complete. Yours should go much the same, albeit with a countless amount of different choices and outcomes for who, what, and why your channeler stands for. That give a unique identity to who, what, and why your channeler stands. Your channeler is where they are today. To the who, what, and why of your channeler. Don't be afraid to communicate with your GM and party members during the process of character creation, as it can often be fun to create characters whose stories or dynamics play into one another. That my character is complete. Yours should go more or less the same, albeit with a plethora of different choices and outcomes that give a unique identity to the who, what, and why of your character. Don't be afraid to communicate with your GM and party members during the process of this character creation, as it can often be fun to create characters whose stories or dynamics play into one another. 104 pages, a bunch of revisions, and a whole ass fucking section. Center that, please. There we go. And a whole ass friggin' section. A whole dang thing on how to build a character. I'm probably gonna run it by a couple friends and make sure it's not complete absolute nonsense. But we shall see. We shall see. Who do I want to raid? I know who I want to I know who I want to raid, actually. I know exactly who I want to raid. This is someone who I've not gotten to raid before, but I fucking adore their design and their art. It is such a good design. I'm going to send you guys on over to Saving Miller. But while we wait for that to get set up, I'd like to send a huge... Oh, I accidentally muted Google Chrome. A huge, huge, huge fucking round of thank yous to everyone who stuck around and kept me company while I worked. Once again, this game is releasing on Friday, and it's gonna be kind of crazy, kind of silly, wacky. If you would like to see it or find people to play with, please feel free to join the Discord, but note that you must be 18 plus to join or you will be banned. I do not want to interact with kids, kind of plain and simple. But that's about all. /raid, saving, Miller, and the raid message. I think I updated it. Check this shit out. Yeah! Armadillo raid. We're big boogieing, big grooving. Big grooving. Alright. Thank you for hanging out, everyone, and hopefully I can get through this soon so we can go back to streaming, I don't know, me actually playing video games instead of just making them. Hey. Alright. Peace, y'all, and good evening.